A disappointing result. Was that the classic game of two halves?
Possibly, but we were pleased to be level at half-time. A great strike from their player to get them ahead, and then a well-worked set piece allowed us to be level at half-time, and then kind of a goal out of nothing, the second goal, and that was probably where our game was too often throughout the course of the afternoon. Bit of inexperience, a bit of naivety, not quite doing the basics first and foremost. I don't want to be too harsh on players involved in certain moments because it's always a collective, but we have to understand the magnitude of those moments.
And how disappointed were you with the reaction to going 2-1 down? Because the reaction to go 1-0 down was excellent, getting back into it just 4 minutes after they scored.
Well, it's about a reaction to try and get back in the game. Sometimes staying level for a little bit longer is needed. We started to gain a bit of foothold and a bit of field position, but then left us open to a counter-attacking moment, which we didn't defend well enough again. We got into some dangerous positions, but didn't work their keeper enough in that second half period. Certainly when we were behind, they sat a little bit deeper as the game went on, but we weren't able to force the issue often enough. I thought apart from Luke Thomas, who was industrious all afternoon and a threat, we didn't quite have it in us to beat an opposition player, either with or without the ball.
How difficult was it for you, having just done that half-time team talk and then to concede just a minute after, to get your message across?
I suppose the message coming out of the club is that's happened too often this season. Those are the errors we have to cut out. If we want to be successful or serious about challenging towards the top half of this league table, the basics of football is defend your goal, and if you've got an opportunity to clear your lines, do so with a little bit of gusto to say I'm responsible for that moment. That second goal, like you say, so shortly after half-time was a real killer.
As you say, kind of right off the third goal as you were sort of pushing forward. Was the disappointment that the changes perhaps didn't work the keeper enough either?
Well, he's made a hell of a save to finish. And we've got some nearly moments, but nearly's not enough. Like I say, the frustration from my point of view, if we look back on who had the majority of the attacking moments in the game, we've probably had the majority, probably more than the opposition. I don't think Coxey's had too many saves to make, but we conceded 3 goals. That's a strange statement to say. So there's certain areas we need to improve and need to improve pretty quickly, especially on the back of such a resolute performance at Bolton last week, where we protected our box, protected our goal. But they were always going to be a different type of opposition today. They mix their game up really well. They've got a real platform top end of the pitch, and we were never really comfortable and in control of the game, but we were in the game, and that's why that goal is a real killer.
Is the biggest task for you to get consistency, not just throughout a game, but throughout a season?
I think that seems to be challenging. Everyone can talk about the potential of this group, but that's difficult to have potential into output when we have moments like that. There's a bit of naivety in our game today, a bit of inexperience in certain positions on that football pitch, and that's ultimately cost us.
And looking ahead, Boxing Day doesn't get any easier, does it? The league leaders coming to the Memorial Stadium. How do you prepare for that one?
Well, you don't have to prepare. It's the biggest game of the season. The next one's always the biggest one. Boxing Day, full house, league leaders like you just touched upon. The players have to be and will be right up for it. It's a fantastic challenge. We'll see how Willow is going into that game. I think we missed a little bit of his experience today. We'll assess Josh Grant, who picked up an ankle injury as the game went on today, see how the bodies are. Hopefully this hasn't taken too much out of us. I'm sure the biggest one will be the mental aspect of a defeat and the man of it, and how we've played our own part in that making. So it's quickly going to be back to work tomorrow, dust ourselves down and focus on what's the biggest game.
Thanks for your time.
Matt, you brought Josh in and saw him in the 3. What did you make of his performance today?
I was pleased. Like I say, just before half-time he took that really nasty roll, and you could see he was struggling at half-time, so we wanted to give him as long as we possibly could in the second half. We'll see how that not dries up. I'll see how the swelling is in the next few days. He could well be a risk for Boxing Day. It's a shame because he's probably had a stop-start time of late. This was a good opportunity. I was pleased with his performance. Generally he was where he needed to be, but his body seems to be one which is letting him down at the moment.
And just looking away from James's illness, how much confidence is there that Jack Hunt and Luke McCormack can be seen in a Rovers shirt before the turn of the year at the moment?
Jack Hunt's got a chance. I think he's got a real chance. Possibly for Boxing Day, he needs to get through a couple more days training. Luke McCormack, I'm not so sure. He took a nasty whack on his ankle this week, and he's been one of the ones struggling with a bit of illness. So we need all the bodies we can get. But I'd like to think Jack Hunt will certainly play his part.
Thank you.